my name is Anjali Khurana. I'm the founder and director of National Dance for Obama. And National Dance for Obama is a nationwide flash mob for Obama. So the idea is to really give visibility to the excitement that our country is feeling, or people are feeling, for Obama. We're going to have to make sure that we link this with getting out the vote, with canvassing, with phone banking for the Obama campaign, to really turn arts into action.
We are moving forward, America, and now you have a choice.
Let's move forward,
We understand that America is not about what you've done before.
Let's move forward, Let's move forward.
We, the people. I have never been more hopeful about America. Hopeful because of you. Our problems can be solved. Our challenges can be met. The path we offer may be harder, but it leads to a better place. And
Lovely Monday evening, everyone. This is How Soon Is Now, a half hour where we talk about the great and not so great aspects of life and everything in between. I'm very excited today. I'm so excited I'm actually dressed up. We have a very special guest, Vasquez. He's 25 years old. He's a graduate of Range and Latin, class of 2006, and he's running for Cambridge City Council. How you doing today, Luis?
I'm doing great. I'm excited. CCTV, I grew up watching CCTV, so it's an honor to be on. Thanks for the opportunity.
All right, no problem. I just want to start off, you're from Cambridge. Just want to know your background in Cambridge and what inspired you to run for city council.
Just living here day by day is an inspiration. I think anyone can agree with that. Being born and raised here is an extremely big honor. Just to be a part of the programs, the schools, the sports teams, having some great education, living in a great neighborhood. I grew up in the Cambridge Port area, right on Magazine Street and Chalk. So like, the friends I had there were second to none. The neighbors we had there were second to none. And that's just all throughout Cambridge. You'll find that. Learning people's cultures, learning how people do things. People are always willing to give a lending hand. We overcame homelessness because of Cambridge families willing to step in and try to help my family out. So the issues run deep for me. And then growing up here, not being able to afford to keep my young family here. I have two sons, a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I'm happily married. And my wife, I love you. But issues like that, they're coming straight from the heart, and they're the reason why I'm stepping in and trying to do something about it, and try to bring awareness to these issues. It's important for me to work with people, work with the community on ways to have issues heard and expressed, and we need to bring awareness to all the demographics, people of all ages, people from all different backgrounds, into finding ways to keep this place welcome to everybody. As a young parent, we had to take Cambridge off of our list of places we wanted to be. And so that, I felt like a piece of my pride was stripped away when that happened. And we finally made our way back, and I started to blog about the community, and through doing that, I learned so many things, and I started looking into who's doing what and why and where they're from, what their backgrounds are. And I said, you know what? The beautiful thing about city council and school committee here in Cambridge is anyone can run, and I think everyone should run. And that's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm stepping up, because the issues run deep. If I lived anywhere else, I wouldn't be doing this.
All right, that's good to know. So for your campaign, you decided not to have like an official website, not to have a mailing list, and to kind of go the social media route and face-to-face interactions. What made you decide to choose that method to campaign?
Because it sets the pace for me personally and for my team to be out there to talk to people, to have face-to-face interactions, and not to rely on a website, or not to rely by hiding behind campaign materials, which is all great to have. I'm not against it, but we are just trying to run this campaign in a non-traditional route. You know, my campaign manager is going to kill me, but wearing a tie, that's a hassle for him every day to try to, everywhere we go, wear your tie, wear your blazer. And I'm like, all right, you got it. So there's some adjustments that need to be made to show people that I'm a real person, that I'm just like them. I'm your everyday guy. You know, what I do in the day is I work with kids. I'm a youth worker in the youth development field. And then I get to come home and transform into a Cambridge City Council candidate. And that's awesome. That's just, I balance out the best of both worlds, and I want people to be aware that this candidate is just like you.
So have you felt like you've been able to reach out to people like from Cambridge through things like Facebook and Twitter?
All the time. I run my own Facebook. I run my own Twitter. That's all me, 100%. And I think that's important for people to see. And I don't talk solely about Cambridge politics and policies. And I'm really big into, I want people to see the person behind the candidate. You know what I mean? And what I mean is the person within the person. I'm running this in a way that I would be incredibly proud of someone else to be doing, if that makes sense. I would vote for someone that's taking the approach that I'm taking and that's coming from the places that I'm coming from. So I'm running not as a statement, but I'm running with a message, and that's to engage my community into not just thinking about the past or just the present or just the future, but how do we come together and bring those things all to the table and make everything work and find a balance for that. Like Central Square. A lot of people are just hardcore against building Central Square to set it up for success in the future. A lot of people want to keep it the same. It's just important to strike a balance. And if you want to build for the future, which is great, and to add stuff to Central Square, you need to work diligently in a way that whatever kind of work you do or additions to the neighborhood you make, keep the integrity of the area and keep it a place that Cambridge has always prided itself in being, and not taking away from that culture.
I'm really glad you brought up Central Square because, you know, over the past few years, Cambridge has been undergoing gentrification.
Yes.
You know, even in Central Square, a lot of the businesses that used to be here for years are being replaced by more high-end, kind of appealing to like a higher, wealthier clientele. Do you think that's an issue? And if does it benefit, or is it detrimental to Cambridge as a whole to be undergoing gentrification?
So, you know, where I stand on that is I think about homelessness, and I think we can't mask the problem. You know, replacing, as much as I love Chipotle, but just as an example, replacing Wendy's with a Chipotle is upscaling, is kind of shooing homelessness away. Whether it's intentional or not, moves like that is to me masking the problem. We need to take the homeless population and support them as much as we can, because they settled in Cambridge because they felt comfortable here. They have their own network. We can't be selfish and think about our own lives and all the pretty things we want around us without thinking of others. It's important to put others first. My perspective on things, if others are happy, I'm happy. We need to help with creating more programs for them to grow as people, for them to have the proper job training, to get them on their feet. That stuff is important to me. We can't just mask the problem and shoo them away.
So why do you think there hasn't been enough effort into like having rehabilitation programs, education programs for not only homeless, but people who are struggling financially and with like drug addictions?
Because it's hard for those people to have a voice. It's not a problem. What they're going through is a struggle, and they can fix it with a support system in place just as much as we can fix something. Everyday problems. We need to really come together, and you know, I don't want to sound so deep, but like brothers and sisters, because being a Cantabrigian is a special thing. Right. That's the whole reason why I'm running. I want everyone to come together. I want everyone to care for each other and to keep the future in mind while helping the people that are around us now. I want my friends and my families that I knew growing up to come back into Cambridge and to find affordable housing and to find ways to live affordably.
Actually, we have a caller. Hello, you're on the air with Alan Louise. Hello? I guess they hung up. Maybe they'll call back.
It's okay.
Hopefully,
Hi.
if you want to call in successfully, you can call in at 617-876-0055. We're talking to Luis Vasquez, candidate for Cambridge City Council. So to continue talking about Central Square, I've lived in Central Square my entire life, and it seems like over the past couple years, it's gotten, I guess, increasingly worse as far as open drunkenness, open and blatant drug use, just excessive swearing in the streets, and with a place where children are coming. Well, hold on a second. We actually have a caller again. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello?
Ellen. Hello. Yes.
Hi, am I on the air?
Yes, you are.
Hi, I want to just say this is Linda Nathan, and I'm so excited by Luis's candidacy.
Thank you, Linda. I love you.
Yeah, it's
Thank
great
you.
to see you, and I'm really pleased about the issues you're raising.
Thank you.
And your interviewer is excellent too, so we're really pleased to support you, Luis. Congratulations.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, see you later.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.
So who was that for our viewers?
Linda Nathan is an extraordinary person. She was a neighbor of mine growing up, a friend of the family. She is family to me, and she is one of the people that was instrumental in making sure that my family, when I was little, had the best of the best. She is an incredible person, and that's why I really meant that. I love you, Linda. Thank you for everything. And it's because of the people of Cambridge that I'm able to do something like this, that I was able to open my eyes and have the courage to run for city council. I don't have all the answers. I can't keep all the promises. I'm just running as a real person. And I'm doing it with the courage that Cambridge helped to build in me through a support system.
That's great. So, I mean, you are 25 years old. Very, very young for someone running for a position that you are. Do you feel like your age is a hindrance, or do you feel like it's actually an advantage for you?
I think it's an advantage because seeing someone like myself as something different, just out of the ordinary. And one of my goals in this campaign for this election is to inspire other young people to get involved, to not necessarily, you don't have to vote for me, but go and vote and bring friends with you, educate yourself, look up the candidates, do your homework. This is a two-way street. Candidates don't have to do all the homework. It's important for voters and for people that are voting every 4 years and forget to vote in the municipal elections to really do their homework and to realize the importance of the decision makers locally. I want people to see me as a real person. I keep emphasizing that. And for a young person to be able to relate to another young person doing what I'm doing is an excellent opportunity for them to have their voices heard and an excellent opportunity for them to grow as people, to be like, I'm going to do that too. And 2 years from now, we're probably going to have 1 million young people running for office.
More people in their 20s. Like,
oh, of course. And that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Everyone should run.
So, historically, like people under 30 years old don't necessarily come out to the polls. In 2008 and 2012, the president election proved that young people can express their views and their voice, but it doesn't really necessarily translate to the city. But how can you get those young voters to galvanize themselves to voting?
Face-to-face interactions. You got to be out there. You got to. Just the other day, I was playing basketball with 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 16-year-olds, and you have to really find a vibe and a balance with their term of a politician or politics. To them, it's a dirty word. To someone like myself, growing up, I didn't pay attention to politics. I had so many other things to worry about, such as student loans and raising my son. I had 2 kids. My wife being pregnant, high school, what college am I going to go to? So it's hard for a young person to really stay actively engaged when there is not a presidential election, because there's so many things that we have to worry about. I'm still a youth myself. You know, when people ask me how old I am, I still want to be like, yeah, 19. No. So I think that having a young candidate is just a beautiful thing. And again, it's not about me as the person, it's about what I'm representing. If someone else was doing it, I would vote for that person. I would support that person. I would find ways to relate to that person. So the youth being involved, not necessarily targeting the youth vote to use them, is important. We can't keep them in hindsight. We have to get them involved. It can't be the same pool of people deciding all of these elections, which is great that they're voting, but we need to get everyone involved. Come November time, my goal is to have, not everyone, but a great population, a big population of Cambridge, and a bigger percentage of people that voted last time, to have their voices heard and to not be left behind, especially young people.
So speaking of youth, you are a graduate of Ringe and Ladin, 2006. I graduated in 2004. I don't know. I might have seen you in the hallways at some point. I'm pretty sure. So what advice would you have for like an incoming freshman right now who's going to Ringe in the fall?
Who's going to Ringe? Well, don't fall for any hazing. You can't get hazed anymore. Back in our day, you could get hazed.
Yeah, my seniors.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to go up to adults and your teachers and the counselors at the schools and coaches for advice, for their opinions. I really wish I did that more. I'll never forget. I was very independent, so I thought, when I was in high school. Freshman and sophomore years, I got D's, F's, occasional C's, and I remember walking through the hallway and a teacher that knew me when I was little pulled me aside, pulled me under her arm, and she said, "Luis, I got a chance to check out your report card." And I was just like, oh, okay, I kind of cringed a little bit in the inside. I was ashamed. And she said, "What I saw on the report card, I don't know what's going on, but you as a person, you don't match what I saw there. But just know, you know what you have to straighten out, but just know that your personality and your great attitude and your respect to adults is going to bring you far enough." And that was kind of like a reality check for me. My junior and senior years at Ringe, I got honor roll every semester. I had A's and B's, and I was just committed. I was committed to succeeding because she believed in me and she pulled me aside. And so I wanted to pursue something in sports management, and I just fell in love with working with youth and revitalizing teens and their families. Everyone has potential to do something great, and that's where I stand. So talk to adults at Ringe.
I think we have another phone call. Hello, you're on the air of Alan and Luis.
Hi, yes, I'm calling two reasons. The first reason I'm calling is that I've been watching your show off and on for quite some time now.
Ah, cool, thank you.
And you are a tremendous inspiration as a young person who has the intelligence and the maturity and the understanding to give this part of your life over to spending time to do what you're doing in the way that you're doing it in a world that I find very sad and very discouraging when I think about young people, and then especially when I think about young people of color, how dark and dismal a world it is for young people. And that includes all young people, but especially my heart goes out to all the recent news and everything about what's happening in the world with young people and their homes and their families, and young people who without any guidance are lost out on the street and causing all kinds of violence and things to happen. And meanwhile, you are like a blinding light.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
You are like a blinding light to me. That's lighting up the darkness. And so I wanted to call, first of all, to give you that kind of a shout out for all that you're doing and encouraging you on. And the other reason I was calling was because you happen to have a guest on who very much resembles you. Very, 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 very much resembles you in the same light that I finished describing about you, and how you, speaking to your guest right now, and how about you giving your life and offering your life in the way that you're doing to bring about the kind of change and set the kind of example that young people need to see you set. And I wanted to ask of you, as part of your commitment and very much a part of the impression of brotherhood and fellowship that I feel listening to the two of you talking with each other, the fellowship of the brotherhood between the two of you, asking that beyond the half hour of the program here tonight, that should your campaign turn out to be successful in the way that I see it will turn out to be, because the environment is starved. The environment is thirsting and starving for some kind of a relief that can only come from the kind of spirit that you represent. So it shouldn't be that much involved, especially when you think that you don't need all the electronic to communicate. I totally support it and confirm and affirm that you have that kind of spirit, that knocking on somebody's door is more than enough to bring the kind of response that you're looking for, you and your team, because those around you will be of like spirit too. Will bring that kind of attraction, so that when that day comes, I wonder, and I ask of you at this moment a pledge that with the success of your campaign, that you will make it a point at least once a month to come back to this show and tell us and keep us aware.
Yeah, I mean,
you got it.
If you want to.
Keep us aware. Keep us aware.
Yeah, no doubt.
Thank you and good night.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You know what?
Wow,
I will.
That's inspiring.
That sounds great. We can actually do that. A monthly report. You know how Obama has like that monthly radio thing? We can do the exact same thing.
All right, sounds good to me.
So, yeah, like
thank you. Appreciate that.
When I first met you a couple of weeks ago at the Hadith Gurma Continuity Fund charity thing, like right away I was excited because you were so young and you're running for this position. I think if you definitely continue on this path, you are going to win. You're going to get enough votes, and I'm really excited.
Thank you. And I want people to know that even beyond that, win or lose on the ballot in this election, this is something that's going to continue. I'm just putting the oil in the machine, and someone else can finish it out. Other people can carry out what I'm doing. That to me is an accomplishment. I'm not in this to get the most votes and to berate you with campaign stuff in your mail and all that. I just really want to feel represented. In a perfect world, the city council here in Cambridge will have, it will represent and it will reflect the characteristics and the diversity that the community does. That's my goal. If we can get the right people elected, I'm with it. I'm happy. So it's not like I'm going to be pouting or anything if I lose, because I don't see it as a loss. What we're doing is inspiring other young people to get involved. And it's bringing people together of all different age groups and demographics.
I mean, the fact that you even started this campaign is inspiring enough in itself. I think, you know, people watching the show, people who meet you all the time, they also get inspiration as well.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
So, between now and November, like, what are your plans for the campaign?
Plans for the campaign are to hit the trail hard and to go knock on a lot of doors. Being as I don't want to hide behind too many material for the campaign. I want people to get to know me. I want people to interact with me. I want to hear people out. I don't necessarily, I'm huge on volunteers, but I don't want to rely too much on volunteers. I want people to get to know me. I want people to ask me questions, to have a conversation with me, to have some laughs with me. I'm all about that. I'm very easygoing. I'm a great listener, and that's how we can make Cambridge a better place, by listening to each other.
So Have you had any contact with any current city council members or Mayor Davis?
Mayor Davis, she's great. She's responsive. I've been trying to sit down with her and pick her brain, especially since she's retiring. And it's incredible that she was able to put in so many years of her life into dedicating her heart to Cambridge. That's great. In terms of other candidates, I've heard from many of them. They're all really excited about the election, and current city councilors, not so much. Not so much.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, but I will go on the record as to say that as current city councilors, they don't necessarily need to like me as a person, but I feel like it's in their, I don't want to say best interest, but if someone like me comes along that's born and raised and represents the youth and was a youth growing up here in the system, I think that they should be supportive of that, and not necessarily supportive of me as a person. They don't have to like me, but they should support, whether privately or publicly. Privately or publicly, just being a mentor or giving advice, tips. Yet I do understand that they're incredibly busy people, and I am a big fan of many of the city councilors out there for their initiatives and their hard work and dedication to the community. But if I was a city councilor, I would be so excited, just ecstatic for someone like me coming along for what it represents.
Well, it's awesome. We're almost out of time. If you want to very quickly plug any websites or anything that...
I would love for people to join me on this journey. Facebook, Luis Vasquez for City Council.